You might have heard some information or seen some articles about epoxy and its ability to hold up to high temperatures. So what is epoxy's ability to withstand heat? So to make it simple, I will tell you that overall there is no problem with epoxy and the heat that you would expect to find on a typical boat, even out in the middle of the sun. But I still wanted to do some tests. So in this video, I'm going to show you what kind of temperatures you can expect to get. And I also wanted to put a comparison between some vinylester resin epoxy and between some vinylester fiberglass and some epoxy fiberglass, and see which of the two holds up, not so much to breaking weight, but I wanted to subject both of them to a slow, gradual weight. So what I've got right here is behind me in my trailer. I've got a couple tabs of vinylester and epoxy resin, and they've been sitting here under weight for a while. And let's see, I'm going to put this for about another half hour, and let's see what happens. I'm outside right now on a very hot and sunny Texas day, and you might be wondering why we're looking at the back of a trailer. Well, this trailer happens to be white and it's in the full sun. Wow, the sun is really coming down, and I want to see how hot this is. So this says that it is 52 degrees centigrade, 52.8 actually. I think if we switch this over to Fahrenheit, see what that is in Fahrenheit. 128.5, just now is 120, there's 129.5. I don't know how well the display shows up on the camera. It's too sunny to see anything, but pretty much this is a very warm, I mean, I can hold my hand on it, but it's very warm and uncomfortable, about 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And the reason this is interesting is I've been doing more research into the epoxy resin for the fiberglass on the boat, and a lot of the technical data sheets say that the epoxy resin starts to fail at around 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And by fail, I mean it's, from what I understand, it kind of starts going back into a liquid form. So this is white. Let's see what it is. I've got a little bit of gray up here at the top. Yeah, see, that gray is 153 degrees Fahrenheit. Really, really hot. These black handles, I wonder what they are. They're 146. Probably because they've got a little bit of airflow behind them to cool them down. But anything other than white just really even goes above the 130. All right, so in order to test the strength of epoxy versus vinylester, I've got this mounted, I've got two tabs here, and I've got this mounted on a board and just leaning up against my trailer, and it's been sitting here in the hot Texas sun now for quite a while. And I drilled a couple holes here on the ends of each of these, and the idea is I want to put some weights on these and see if we can get this to deform or to slip any. The goal here is not so much to try to keep adding weight until this breaks and pulls off. You know, there's lots of tests already online that show that epoxy is typically much stronger than vinylester or polyester resin. But I want to see how this is going to be affected by direct sunlight in some very hot temperatures. So, okay, so right now I've got this setting up. I'm just going to let this keep heating up a little bit more. Just kind of sitting here being happy for right now in the Texas sun. All right, so this has been sitting here under a load for a few hours now. I got some sandbags down here holding it, and I turned it around so that what would happen is it would pull a little bit away from the wood that it's attached onto. So both of these are pulling slightly away. So let me cut these sandbags off and see if there's any deformity or anything that happened to the two fiberglass tabs. All right, the sandbags are off, and looking down at this, you know what? We actually have a result. Something changed. So we have the vinylester fiberglass here on the left, and this is the epoxy fiberglass here on the right. And if we look down, I don't know if this will come out on the camera or not, but the vinylester fiberglass tab is remaining perfectly straight, but the epoxy fiberglass is actually bent out a bit, so it deformed the fiberglass, and it's not going back, and it did not bend back or anything. This fiberglass has I guess reformed in this shape under the heat. So the fiberglass did actually bend a little bit. It did not break, it did not fail, but it did shift. This I guess the straightness of this is no longer straight. So I mean, this shows that epoxy can be deformed under high heat, and it can keep that deformity when the load is removed. That deformity can stay. So this is one of the reasons why in the hull, where I'm gluing the hull pieces together, I'm going with a mechanical joint with the puzzle pieces to maintain a backup, so that even if there is any type of high heat, that it won't shift. The shape, I want that shape to maintain. I don't want the glue joints to slightly bend over time. So all right, interesting. I am actually a bit surprised. This never actually made it up to temperatures where it is noticeably soft. I cannot use my fingernail to make any type of marks in it or anything. So the fiberglass, I should say, the epoxy remained hard the entire time under this heat, but with that weight on it, pulling on it for those several hours, it is noticeably bent, and the vinylester is noticeably straight. So there is a difference between the two. All right, well, that'll be enough for this video. Like I said, I'm actually surprised, but in a way it's confirming what my intuition says, that there should be some type of mechanical backup to the joints and not rely on just the epoxy and fiberglass alone. All right, that's enough for this video. Bye.